You wake up in the morning and you're already tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep fixes, something deeper, something that's been there for a while now. You get through the day, you do what needs to be done, you come home and you sit down and you feel nothing. Not sad, not angry, not even stressed really, just flat. Like the volume of your whole life got turned down somewhere along the way and you can't find the dial. And somewhere in the back of your mind, maybe late at night, maybe in the car on the way to work, a thought keeps coming up. Is this just what my life is now? If that thought has crossed your mind even once, this video is for you. Because what I'm about to walk you through might be the first honest answer you found. Hello, I'm Anthony from strongmencoaching.com. And today we're talking about burnout. Not the buzzword version, not the Instagram infographic version, the real thing. What it actually feels like inside a man's body, what's happening inside your nervous system, and what it means for where you go from here. Stay with me. I want to start by describing something, and I want you to know this, whether this feels familiar. You used to have more energy for life, not just physical energy, though that's part of it, something deeper, more like appetite, interest, a reason to move toward things. There were things you looked forward to, projects, people, mornings that didn't feel like a sentence. And at some point, you can probably feel the edges of when it was, even if you can't name the exact moment that changed. Maybe it was gradual. Maybe it crept up on you so slowly you didn't notice until one day you looked back and realized, I haven't actually felt like myself in a long time. Or maybe it happened fast, a season of pressure, work, family, loss, a grind that never let up. And then one day, you just didn't bounce back. And here's the part that makes this complicated for men. You kept going anyway, because that's what you do. You handle it, you adapt, you push through. And from the outside, you probably looked fine, functional, responsible, showing up. But inside, something is running on fumes. I call this the invisible crash. It's burnout that doesn't look like burnout because you're still standing, still performing, still doing the job. But the cost is that you're slowly going numb to almost everything that used to make life feel worth living. That numbness isn't weakness. That numbness is your nervous system doing exactly what it was designed to do under chronic pressure. And once you understand what's happening, something shifts. Here's what most people get wrong about burnout. They think it's a mindset problem, motivational problem, maybe even a character problem. Like you're not resilient, not grateful enough, not tough enough. And that's wrong. Burnout is a biological event, and it starts with a system inside your body designed to keep you alive. Your stress response. When your brain detects a threat, whether it's a predator in the woods, a brutal weak work, or a relationship falling apart, your nervous system activates. Fight or flight. Cortisol gets released, adrenaline spikes, your body mobilizes, and you become alert, focused, ready to respond. And in the short term, that system is brilliant. The problem is it was designed for short term danger, not the kind of stress most men live with today. Chronic stress, low grade stress, relentless stress, invisible stress, work pressure that never stops, financial pressure in the background of every decision, relationship tension, the feeling that you're behind, that you should be further along, that somehow you're still not enough. And when your stress system stays activated for months or years, your body starts changing. First, your cortisol rhythm breaks down. You're supposed to wake up energized and gradually slow down at night, but burnout flattens that pattern. That's why you wake up tired. Your body has been running too hard for too long. Second, your prefrontal cortex starts going offline. That's the part responsible for focus, planning, decision making, emotional regulation. Things start feeling foggy. Decision fatigue hits fast. You stop caring about things you know you should care about. And third, this is the part most men never hear. Your dopamine system gets disrupted. Dopamine isn't just a pleasure chemical, it's the anticipation chemical. It's what makes you feel pulled toward life. motivated, curious, excited. Chronic stress suppresses dopamine, which is why burnout doesn't just feel like exhaustion, it feels like emptiness. Like the future stopped being interesting, like nothing sounds good, like you lost the thread of what you actually want. This is not weakness, this is not attitude, this is neurochemistry. And here's what matters most: it's reversible, but only if you understand what you're actually dealing with. Which brings me to something important. Burnout and depression are not the same thing. They share symptoms: exhaustion, emotional flatness, loss of interest, disconnection, and because of that, a lot of men and honestly a lot of clinicians confuse them. But they're different, and treating the wrong one is one reason men stay stuck. Depression is a mood disorder. It changes how you feel about yourself and the world, often with hopelessness, worthlessness, guilt, and it follows you everywhere. Good news doesn't move the needle. Rest doesn't help. A vacation doesn't touch it. Burnout is different. Burnout is a stress response disorder. It's what happens when your nervous system has been overloaded for too long. So your body starts rationing energy to survive. The emotional numbness is burnout. It isn't hopelessness, it's depletion. It's protective. Your system is conserving resources. Here's the clearest way I can explain it. With depression, nothing feels good. With burnout, you can feel much at all. But some part still remembers that good used to exist. Some part of you knows this isn't right. Some part of you is still in there, waiting. And if you're watching this video right now, actively searching for answers, trying to understand what's happening, that matters. That curiosity is a signal. Something in you is still reaching. Now, listen, some men are dealing with both. Burnout can develop into depression if ignored long enough. And I'm not here to diagnose. If you're struggling deeply, please work with a professional. But for many men, what their experience is burnout, sometimes years long burnout. And the path through it is specific. In my work with men, I've noticed burnout usually moves through three stages. And most men are stuck in stage two without realizing it. Stage one is the compression phase. Pressure builds. You're handling a lot. You adapt, you push, you grind. You might even feel wired, driven, running hot. You're not broken yet. You're overloaded. If you caught it here, recovery would be faster. Most men don't. Stage two is the flat line. This is where most men arrive when they reach out to me. The system that was running hot starts shutting down. Non essential functions, motivation, joy, emotional range, interest in the future. You're still functional, still getting through the day, but you're not really living, you're managing, going through the motions, doing what's required, feeling very little. And the dangerous part about stage two is that it can last for years because you're still functioning. Nothing forces a change. So you adapt to the fog until one day you realize you've been living like this for 3 years and it start feeling like your personality. It's not your personality. Stage three is the crash. This is when the body forces the conversation, panic attacks, illness, emotional eruptions, completely loss of drive, fatigue that never lifts, sleep that never restores, a body that feels like it's moving through water. The crash is brutal, but sometimes it's the thing that finally gets a man to stop denying what's happening. Wherever you are in the process, stage one, stage two, or stage three, the direction forward starts with one thing. I said earlier that I tell you the one signal that recovery is beginning. Not a checklist, one signal. Here it is: moments of genuine interest. Not constant motivation, not feeling amazing all day, just moments, small moments, where something catches your attention: a conversation, an idea, an activity, something outside the gray. That's your dopamine system coming back online. Recovery doesn't begin with feeling great, it begins with feeling something, even a small flicker. The men who recovered deeply almost always describe the same thing. One moment felt real again. One conversation cut through the numbness. One experience made them feel present instead of performing, and they paid attention to it. That's the beginning. So if you've had even one moment lately where something felt slightly more alive, you're not as far from yourself as you think. And before this video ends, I need you to understand something. What you experience is not who you are. It's what happens to a man who has carried too much for too long. Without the right support, without the right framework, without permission to finally put some of it down, you didn't fail. Your system responded, and systems that respond can recover. If this video landed, if something in here felt like it was describing your life, I want to say something directly to you. You do not have to stay here. This is not your permanent state. This is not who you are now. This is where you've been. There is a version of you that feels more alive, more present, more connected to what actually matters. And the distance between where you are now and where you could be is not as far as it feels from the inside, the fog. The work I do with men at Strong Men Coaching is built for this. Not generic self help, not empty mindset quotes, real work, grounded work. Work focused on the nervous system, the beliefs, the behaviors, the patterns that keep men stuck in survival mode and a clear path out. If you're reading, ready to stop managing and start changing something, the link is in the description. We'll have a real conversation, no pressure, no obligation, no pitch, just honesty about where you are and what's possible. And if you're not ready for that yet, that's okay too. Here's what I'd ask: drop one word in the comments, one word that describes how you've been feeling. You don't need to explain it, you don't need to figure it out. Just name it, because naming it is the first step, and that matters. Subscribe if you want more of this. I make content for men who are done surviving and ready to come back to life. Once again, I'm Anthony from strongmencoaching.com. And until next time, stay strong.